It's impossible to tell the entire history of this unique town, to share all of its pains and triumphs. The rich soil of the Quapaw and the movement of the conquistadors, the barrels of cotton and loads of timber, the enslaved who escaped here to freedom, the sharecroppers' skilled hands that manipulated the soil, the spirit of the people, resilient, loving, determined, all of which are intertwined like notes within a symphony. This city in the Arkansas Delta that has crescendoed and decrescendoed and persisted for over a century. A song of the Bluff.
For me, Pine Bluff was everything, like going outside, going to the ice cream truck, UAPB, seeing the homecoming parade, the homecoming atmosphere. Like,
all of my memories of Pine Bluff kind of center around Snow White's restaurant. And I mean, my earliest memories, my grandfather always took me there.
Every weekend, living out in Gethsemane, Pine Bluff was the place to go.
We came to Pine Bluff and really, and this sounds odd to so many people, we fell in love.
Downtown was always bustling. People would come from all over Southeast Arkansas, Fordyce.
People were riding through the park, cruising, in their big, long 1970s cars.
Star City, Monticello, all over, they would come to Pine Bluff to shop.
Like, it was always something to do, even if it seemed like it was nothing to do, you know?
The 8-track tapes.
It didn't have to be an event, but it would be like, oh yeah, somebody having a barbecue at their house.
Trying to mac on some female.
The whole Pine Bluff come out.
And of course, when you move to a new place, you do a little research, you think oh, okay, that's what Pine Bluff is all about. I had no idea. Even working with the Advertising and Promotion Commission, and I worked with the Convention Center since 2003, so 18 years, you think you know the history. You think because you're promoting Pine Bluff, you're trying to get tourists here and so on, but until I really started learning about the true history of Pine Bluff, did I realize what an amazing place this is.
The history of this city runs deep like the roots of a pine tree. The land belonged to the Native Americans, specifically the Quapaw tribe. However, as white settlers began moving into the area, the Quapaw were forced off their land through treaties and land seizures. The city's position on the river made it an effective location for activity, and as years passed, Pine Bluff, the largest city in Jefferson County, began to shape itself as a metropolis of the Southeast Arkansas region. It produced various high-yielding crops, including the largest cotton market between Memphis and Dallas, and multiple industries like the Cotton Belt route of the St. Louis Railway and paper mills that fueled the economy. Yet its wealth, built on cotton and cultivated by African American labor, created an economic boom. In 1870, there were approximately 10,000 African Americans in Jefferson County, and by the 1930s, that population tripled. However, the city has experienced difficult times. The flood of 1927 was heralded as the most destructive and costly flood in American history. And for Pine Bluff, this small but growing town on the river, it was devastating. Homes, storefronts, crops, gone. And this happened only a few years before the greatest economic downturn in the nation, the Great Depression. World War II revitalized the city. Industry and money from the war began to pour back into the community. Businesses were booming again. People were working and the city's thriving reputation was once more. Musical legends like Miles Davis, Bobby Rush, and Elvis Presley have ties to the city during their youth. Exceptional minds like Martin Luther King Jr., O.W. Gurley, founder of Tulsa's very own Black Wall Street, and Wiley Jones, a black millionaire in the early 20th century, invested or lived in this town. From athletes and entertainers to civil rights and community leaders, Pine Bluff has an extensive history, produced a dizzying array of talent, and has a legacy that is impactful and grand.
Pine Bluff, on patrol in the most dangerous little town in America.
According to reports, if you're going to keep yourself and your family safe, you may not want to be careful. It's dangerous. Pine Bluff and West Memphis.
Why would you go down there?
The school system is bad.
I'm sick of problems.
Well, I wouldn't know it there. There's a bunch of crime and shooting. A lot of black people.
Police investigate
It's
separate
nothing to
shootings,
do
leaving
here.
one dead and multiple injured.
It's dangerous.
The economy changed. Cotton was no longer king. The industry changed. A lot of big firms that had been in the area, a lot of big manufacturing entities, consolidated their operations and began to farm out jobs internationally. That had a big impact on the area.
People don't feel that they're safe. As crime goes up, they're going to choose other places to live, where they feel that their kids are going to have a better educational environment and where they can find jobs and have neighborhoods that they feel safer in. I also feel that crime is highlighted here in Pine Bluff more than it is in other cities, even in Arkansas. A mayor from another city, Blytheville, told me one day, he said, "Mayor, you and I are dealing with the same level of crime. We're hit hard right now." Well, I never knew that he was dealing with crime because I had never turned my television on one day and heard of anything happening in Blytheville. But he knew what was happening in Pine Bluff.
And then by the 1970s, you had integration, and that is when we begin to see people leaving Pine Bluff. And particularly whites are leaving the area through the 70s and 80s and 90s in bigger numbers. Now, this wouldn't have impacted the area so badly had there not been such wealth inequality in the town. But what you had was a lot of white people who had benefited from this wealth inequality over time that ended up leaving, and their wealth left too.
And it's been going on for a long time. There are 2 institutions of higher education in Pine Bluff, but no jobs for the graduates. So to have a successful program, you have to have jobs for your graduates. And a lot of people that attend UAPB are from South Arkansas. They don't want to move. That's their home. I don't want to move from Arkansas. It's my home. But you have to have jobs for them. And if you don't have jobs, then people will not stay.
The reason why Pine Bluff has all the negative connotation, all the negative thoughts, all the negative perspectives is because people in Pine Bluff talk so bad about Pine Bluff. Pine Bluff, worst city in America. People say that, you know what I'm saying? If you can talk bad about Pine Bluff, so can I, and I'm from out of town, you know? It's just like, if you don't appreciate what you have, nobody else will.
There has been so much deterioration in the city, so much decline in population. We've lost business, our schools are down. And so I think this is a time when we must renew, when we must rebuild, when we must unite for that to happen so that Pine Bluff can begin to prosper again.
Looking out over like Saracen, thinking about futures I never been. Imagining paradise for my can. Lovers agape, we tapping in. Clean many communities of the sands.
Pine Bluff is transforming. Individuals and institutions around the community are working to create a prosperous and thriving city. It's more than just a small rural town in the Delta. It's filled with people that are striving for more, to change the negative narrative that has stuck with the city for decades. Go Forward Pine Bluff has set out a vision for the city to rally behind. The Saracen Casino Resort has become one of the largest developments in a decade, employing nearly 1,000 residents. Once the topic of controversy, the casino has generated $18 million in taxes and $3.5 million for the city of Pine Bluff. The Generator, a space to learn digital skills and entrepreneurship, is up and running. The city of Pine Bluff and Jefferson County have funded the Main Street Streetscape project with a price tag of $2.3 million, a new state-of-the-art library, a new aquatic center, a strategic plan of advancements that are all working to move Pine Bluff forward.
Pine Bluff gets an unnecessarily bad rap, for sure. Like I said, so much happening there, so much to see, so much to do, and for it to get that negative reputation is very undeserved.
I think the more we educate our citizens and the more we educate the children, that will restore a pride in them and say, you know what? I can do that. I can overcome this. I can be that person and have their own successes. And we are rebuilding Pine Bluff.
People just need to give Pine Bluff a chance. We just need a chance. And I just wish the perspective of outsiders or the perspective that we have as a city didn't really stop people from contributing or from even trying to learn about it, you know?
It feels like a dream is coming true. It gives you hope. It lets you know that if we've come this far with our plan, then we know we can make it to the end of our plan and reach our ultimate goal of transforming Pine Bluff.